About a year ago, I travelled south from my home in the Scottish Highlands to Chesterfield in Derbyshire to collect this VW T6 hillside Caravaggio high top. And in the 12 months since, we've travelled about, 13,000 miles in it. We've had well over 100 overnights in it, and we've had 2-month-long journeys to Europe. Last September we had a month in the Italian and French Alps, and last March we had a month in Spain and Portugal. In that time the vehicle's had one major service. We've made 1 or 2 modifications, 1 or 2 kind of refinements to personalise the vehicle to suit our own needs, and it's been terrific. So after a year, how do we feel about it? Are we happy with it? Do we have any regrets at buying it? And most importantly, are we going to keep it? The Caravaggio is our 13th camper van, and that's over a period of 45 years or so. It's our 5th Volkswagen. So why have we changed our camper van so often? Well, we actually began with a very cheap second-hand thing, an ancient Toyota Hiace. And over a number of years we gradually built up the quality of our vans until we had a lovely Volkswagen Autosleeper high top. We loved that van. And about then our 2 sons went off to university, fled the nest so to speak. So Gina and I had a bit of a break from camper vanning for a wee while. Now at that time I was leading a lot of overseas treks for a company called KE Adventure Travel of Cumbria. And Gina came with me on quite a lot of these trips to Everest Base Camp and across Morocco and Guatemala. We also did a lot of big backpacking trips. We did the John Muir Trail in California twice, the Tour of Mont Blanc, the Walker's Hot Route. We walked across the mountains of Mallorca and a host of others. But truth be told, we couldn't afford to have a camper van just sitting in our driveway doing nothing. So we sold it. Now after a few years break, we were passing a garage one day when we saw an old self-converted camper van up for sale on the forecourt. It was a Renault Trafic, and written along the sides were the words, "The Purple Haze." Now I should clarify that the name came from the colour of the vehicle and not from any alleged illicit activities that went on inside the van. But we loved this vehicle, and the fun we had with it convinced us that we should maybe spend a bit of money. In fact, as it turned out, a lot of money, my wife's pension lump sum, on a new vehicle. We went off to the camping and caravan show at the NEC in Birmingham and bought ourselves an almost demonstrator Roma Home R40. Bigger than our usual camper vans, but not so big it would be a problem on Highland roads. Sadly, it was a problem in every other way imaginable. No sooner had the warranty run out than things began to go wrong. We had to have it completely rewired. The shock absorbers on the base vehicle were far too lightweight for the weight of the camper van itself. And the Webasto heater cost us over a grand in repairs because it had been badly fitted in the first place. Now it really reached the stage when we were nervous wrecks every time we went off for a weekend, just wondering what was going to go wrong next. Eventually I was more than happy to see the back of it. But that was after we'd spent a small fortune, a king's ransom in fact, in various repairs to bring it up to scratch so we could sell it. Foolishly, we then bought a bigger motorhome, an Eldis Auto Cirrus. Now this was a big mistake. It was a nice enough vehicle in many ways, but it didn't take us very long to realise that we were not motorhomers. We weren't motorhome people. We much preferred the compact nature and car size of a camper van. And for the kind of work that I was doing at the time, essentially climbing mountains, exploring wild places and writing about it, making TV programmes about it, driving predominantly on narrow, often single track Highland roads, a camper van, a small camper van, turned out to be the perfect vehicle. It was an office, it was a tea house, it was a bunk house, all combined into one. We had a couple of marvellous Hyundai i800s, and then we bought a Swift Autocruise Select 184. Now this was a great van, but it's something just over 6 metres long. I thought it was maybe just a bit on the big side, just too long. I wanted to get back to a VW camper van, and hence my trip to Chesterfield. The VW Caravaggio is a limited edition high top made by Hillside Leisure of Derbyshire for Richard Baldwin Motorhomes of Halifax in Yorkshire. Now it's essentially a Hillside birchover high top with a few different decals and branding, and 4 fitted cameras that give an all-round vehicle view from the driver's seat. Now the cameras, I believe, were fitted as a kind of dash cam which could record footage when you were driving and when the van's parked up for the night. Now if someone cuts you up on the road, you have footage for the police and the insurance company. And if somebody tries to break into the van when it's parked, then again you've got the video footage to give to the police or insurance company. However, I haven't been able to find any method of recording this video footage. There's no slots for an SD card that I can find, and I've searched high-low. So if there's anybody out there with a similar system, please get in touch and tell me how I can record footage. Now the other thing that sets up the Caravaggio apart from the Hillside birchover is the decals. But as you can see, they're beginning to peel off, so that's not very good either. So far I'm thinking I might have been better with a straightforward Hillside birchover high top, except I kind of like the name Caravaggio. I've never been one for giving my vans a name like Elsie or Fred or whatever, but I guess Caravaggio sounds way cooler than most names people give their vans. But hey, each to his own. Okay, what we have is a 2020 VW T6 with a 2-litre diesel engine and 5-speed gears. Now, this is not the fastest van in the world, but I don't need it to be the fastest van in the world. It rolls along quite happily, 70 miles an hour, but I'm usually fairly happy to stick at about 65 miles an hour. And at that kind of speed, I'm getting almost 45 miles to the gallon, and I think that's pretty good. In fact, it's the best return I've had from any camper van I've ever owned. To date, the only issue I've had with the vehicle is the little orange engine warning light that comes on occasionally. Now it appears to indicate the ERG valve is sooted up and needs flushed. Now that's maybe because I drive it so slowly, I drive it so carefully, who knows. My local mechanic says I need to blast it from time to time to burn the soot away. However, I have this kind of sneaky feeling that this valve shouldn't be sooting up with such a low mileage. I mean, we've only done about 14,000 miles in the van. So we'll be keeping a very close check on this while the van's actually still under warranty. I've fitted a VO4 dash cam with 3 cameras, front, rear and internal. But to be honest with you, I only really use it for filming footage for these YouTube videos. Most of the time I have it switched off. I probably wouldn't have really bothered with it had the Richard Baldwin 360 system been more, a bit more effective, or if I could find out how it works. But dash cams can be worthwhile, especially if you're parked in maybe a dodgy neighbourhood in a city and there's a chance of somebody breaking into your van. And of course, if somebody cuts you up in the motorway or you're involved in an accident out on the road, it can be good to have some video footage of the incident for the police or for your insurance company. However, that only works if you remember to turn the damn thing on, which I'm not very good at doing. In short, I love driving this van. It drives like a car and you can park it like a car. But best of all, you can just feel the Volkswagen quality. It just feels as though it's made to last. Okay, let's look at the habitation area. Fairly standard Volkswagen layout with a side kitchen, 2 front seats that swivel, although the driver's seat, I have to admit, is a wee bit of a faff to turn it round. You've got to lower the handbrake to get it round, and it's all a bit tight, all a bit of a squeeze. So for most of the time we just don't bother. The passenger seat is simple though, and it's although this is a kind of short wheelbase Volkswagen, the whole van's only 4.9 metres in length. There's more than enough room for Gina and I to stretch out in comfort. The bed is an RIB model, again very simple to pull out, and you've also got the added bonus of being able to raise the rear section of the bed so you can kind of lie out, stretched out to watch a video or chill out to music or read a book or whatever, with the back elevated in some comfort. A bit like a chaise lounge, if you know what that is. If you don't know what a chaise lounge is, don't worry about it. We found the bed just a tad on the firm side, so we bought a Duvet mattress topper, which lives most of the time on the rear parcel shelf. And when it's bedtime, we simply pull the bed out and then pull the duvet out to cover it. Very, very simple, and it's very, very comfortable. One question we kept asking ourselves was this: is there enough room in the bed for 2 of us? And the answer is yes, actually loads of room. I was always used to sleeping upstairs in a pop top. The 2 Hyundais we had were pop tops. But when you think of it, the pop top in a camper van is basically just a canvas tent. And when it's windy and stormy outside, you're in a bit of a tent, and you can lose an incredible amount of heat through a pop top in the colder months of autumn and winter. And this is what we love about having a high top. You can stand up, there's lots of headroom, and it keeps the warmth in. And look at the amount of storage space in here. These side spaces can carry a huge amount of bits and pieces, all kinds of stuff. And there's a huge locker at the front and at the rear. Now, Gina's claimed the front locker for all her clothes and stuff, and I get the rear locker along with other bedding, I have to say, a couple of pillows and duvet quilts. But at the end of the day, I don't need much space for clothing. I only carry a few spare t-shirts and a couple of pairs of underpants and socks and stuff, not a lot. Underneath the 2-burner hob, we have a Smurf grill, where we, like most people, carry all our dishcloths to stop the grill rattling, and a big storage space beneath that, which is ideal for pots and pans and kettles and things. Although we tend to keep a folding kettle in the sink along with some soaps, dishwash stuff and scrub as the kind of cleaning stuff. When we bought this Caravaggio, I had an inverter fitted, which I used for a while to mainly charge up my e-bike batteries and things like that, but I kind of wasn't too comfortable with it. It was basically a fairly cheap Chinese inverter, and I think I probably read too many reports of these things going on fire. So we had it taken out, we had it removed, and we splashed out on this Bluetti power bank, which has been absolutely superb. It charges everything we need in the camper van, and it fits nicely down here behind the driver's seat. So with that and a 160 watt solar panel on the roof, we very rarely use a hookup. Indeed, the only thing a hookup offers us is hot water. We've got a little switch that we can switch on if we're hooked up and it heats the water up. But really, we can get hot water from our kettle anytime we want. Talking about heating up the kettle or cooking is by gas. We have a little camping gas 470 in the back, and that seems to last for months and months and months. And now, because camping gas puts a percentage of propane into their butane canisters, there's no issue with it not burning hot, not burning well in the cold temperatures of winter. It's pretty good all year round. In our last van, the Swift Select 184, the heating was gas, and it just gobbled up the Calor gas supply that we had in no time at all. And of course, we shouldn't forget the space below the rib bed for our porta potty. In here we have a Eberspascher diesel heater, and it is just pure magic. It gets this little space toasty in no time at all, and honestly, you can't even register the small amount of diesel that it uses up. I think I can honestly put my hand in my heart and suggest that diesel heating is the greatest campervan invention of all time. But having said that, it really only works in small spaces. And I think I'm correct in saying all the diesel heaters on the market only have one heat outlet, so it really wouldn't work in a bigger, longer van. Another addition I've made is to fit a tow bar. Not because I want to haul a trailer around everywhere, but because I can fit my bike rack onto it. It's a tow bar bike rack, and I need a sturdy bike rack because I use e-bikes, and e-bikes are heavy. And one final addition. I wasn't too keen on side windows that didn't have any bug netting, midgie netting. So I improvised. I'm quite proud of this actually. Using magnetic tape, I stuck this little frame around one of the windows and used the opposite parts of the magnetic tape to construct another frame with some bug netting. Now on midgie nights or midgie mornings, or if there's a lot of flies about, I just stick it in place and we can get fresh air through the window, but no bugs. It works a treat. So there you have it, 1 year on, and how do we feel about the Hillside Caravaggio now? In short, we love it. We love it to bits. I know it's pensioner beige in colour and it has a slight Derby and Joe look to it, but hey, we're not spring chickens anymore. We're two active oldies who enjoy walking, we enjoy cycling from our camper van, and this little van fulfills all our needs. So are we going to hang on to it? Damn right we are. As my good Scots wife says, it'll probably see us out. So there you are. If you've liked this video, can I maybe ask you to consider subscribing to the channel? It really helps an awful lot. And give us a like if you can, and press the notification button if you'd like to know when new videos are published and are available. So thank you for joining me today. Meanwhile, get out there and enjoy the summer. Enjoy your camper van. Stay safe, and we'll catch up next time. Bye for now.